teachers are always telling us get your 7 to 8 hours of sleep, but then be assigning a whole bunch of work. Like every teacher is assigning a bunch of work, and they're like, "Oh,
You guys didn't sleep? Everyone's so sleepy today."
girl, I wonder why." Hello everyone, I'm Christelle and welcome back to my channel. And for today's video, I will be giving advice to high school freshmen as a senior who just graduated. And I have a list here of things. I'm gonna try to get through it pretty quickly because it's a lot. But basically, these tips are things that I've gathered through my 4 years of high school. Honestly, this could apply to anyone in high school, no matter what grade you're in. But I feel like freshmen need to hear this the most because this is a new environment for them. So I'm hoping these tips and tricks can help some freshmen somewhere. I went through this, so I can help you make this high school experience a little easier. So number one, stay organized. I know everybody's always telling you this, but especially if you have bad memory, you need a planner or something, or a Google Calendar, whether it's digital or you're handwriting it yourself. You need some type of organizer to help you, because when these assignments pile up and all these projects, you think, oh, I can just remember this, whatever. Trust me, you will not. Life will get in the way, school will get in, and it will slip your mind. So have some type of organizer. It's gonna help you, whether it's the notes app, something. Number two, get involved like somehow. I kind of wish I got more involved in high school. I think I just thought high school was too much, and I thought I wouldn't have time for like extracurriculars, but that's so it does help. Do something fun, do something to take your mind off of school. And it really helps in the future for like college applications. I know y'all freshmen or whatever, but it does help. Start early. Number three, manage your time wisely, y'all. Do not spend 1 hour on an assignment that should take 30 minutes. Or if this is an assignment that it may take you longer than the average student, take that into consideration. Plan that in your day. Like, okay, I know this is going to take me a lot longer because I'm struggling in this subject. So I'm going to make sure I do this and this and this quickly, because I know I can do these pretty quickly, so I have more time to do the assignment that I'm struggling on. Y'all get what I'm trying to say? And that's not only just with school. Like, you're managing your life with school, extracurriculars, just hanging out with friends, family. You got to schedule that in as well. Make sure you get your work done before you go hang out with your friends, or make sure you get back in time so that you do your work. I strongly suggest doing your work before you go out with your friends, because when you come back, you're gonna be tired. You're just gonna want to sleep or something, or lay down. You're not gonna want to do your homework. So I suggest doing your homework, doing everything you need to do, chores, blah blah, before you go hang out. Develop good study habits. I feel like I'm still trying to learn this as well. Everyone works so differently, you guys. I cannot stress this enough. Not everyone's gonna study the same way. Our brains take up information so differently. We do not consume information the same. So, experiment, find what works for you. Number 5 is communicate with your teachers. I cannot stress this enough. You need to have some type of relationship with your teachers, because they're the ones that are going to help you. They're the ones putting your grade into Power School or Canva or whatever the hell. Okay, after class, ask questions, or during class, ask questions. Tell them, I'm really not understanding this. Is there a way that we could meet up, during like free period or something? I don't know if every high school has that, but some type of meeting to help you understand something, or when life is just getting a little too much and you know you're not going to be able to hand this assignment in on time, communicate that with your teachers, but do that ahead of time. Don't do it the day before it's supposed to be due. Do this like a few days before and explain to them, this is what's going on. Can I have, you don't got to disclose your personal information, but just say, there's a lot going on right now. Is there a chance I can turn this in at a later time? I promise you, maybe not always, but it's good to ask, because teachers, they can be understanding. If you have a good relationship with them and you communicate with them and they can see in class that, you're not the type of student to always turn things in late, you're always turning things in on time, and you just ask them for this one time, hey, could I turn this in, Friday or something like that, most likely they're gonna give you some type of extension. But don't take it for granted. Don't always be, overdoing it, taking advantage of your teachers, because they're gonna peep that and then they're not gonna give you any more extensions. Really do don't procrastinate and be like, oh, I can just email this teacher and they're gonna give me an extension. Don't do that. Really ask for an extension when it's necessary and mandatory, like it's your last resort, like you did everything you could to try to get this assignment in, but you're still not gonna get it in. Ask for help when you need it. Okay? Don't try to think that, oh, I don't need help, when you're clearly struggling, because I promise you somebody's gonna help you. I was never afraid to ask for help because I was like, okay, I'm struggling. Somebody needs to help me. I was not about to rack my brain over something that I knew I wasn't gonna get by myself. My school had like extra help. We had, co-periods where you could go ask your teacher, ask them in advance, like in an email, can we meet during free periods so we could talk this over? Like, use these resources, and they're free. The resources that the school gives you that are free. You could always pay some tutor or something like that, but my school had peer tutoring, kids who were doing better in these classes that I was struggling in, and they were volunteering their time to help me. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are resources at your disposal that you need to take advantage of, okay? These teachers, your school doesn't want you to fail. Like, they don't want you to fail. So they're giving you these resources. Take advantage of them. They're here for you to use. Next tip is take care of your health, y'all. It's always in school you're getting sick, you know what I mean? And that can get in the way. That can get in the way of just your life. I feel like when you get sick in school, it's different than getting sick like outside of school or during break or something. You know what I mean? I just feel like getting sick during school is just a lot worse. And, take time for yourself. I know that's what I'm saying. Like, don't be, I guess that goes into like not skipping school too. Cause once you see you got a lot of absences, you're like, oh, now you see that you can't afford to like miss any more days. Now when you actually need the day off or a couple of days off, you're screwed. You know what I'm saying? So really only skip days when you're sick and it's necessary, or you just can't be in school. And that also goes for like mental health. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to take a day off for mental health. Don't, that's these absences, they're counting these absences. You know what I mean? So take that mental health day. Don't just not go to school just because you don't want to. You're lazy. No one wants to go to school. You know what I'm saying? Really take these days off of school when it's necessary, when you really need them. That also goes for sleep, y'all. School's hard, so I really understand when we can't get, our 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Like, teachers are always telling us, get your 7 to 8 hours of sleep, but then be assigning a whole bunch of work. Like, every teacher is assigning a bunch of work, and they're like, oh,
You guys didn't sleep? Everyone's so sleepy today.
girl, I wonder why. We're up late doing your work. So I understand if we can't get our 7 to 8 hours because school really School really does kind of make it impossible to do all that. But really try your best, y'all. But don't be staying up late on your phone. Like, if you know you got your work done early and you just staying on your phone for hours, then you're just doing that to yourself. I'm not saying I don't do that. Like, trust me, I know, because that's what I would do. I would finish my work early and then just be on my phone for hours and then get like 4 hours of sleep. But as soon as you're done with that homework, bro, maybe go on your phone for like 30 minutes and go to sleep. Because school is like 8 hours long. You need that sleep. Your brain is constantly working. You're having conversations with people. You're having conversations with people, and your brain is taking in a lot of information for each class. You need sleep. The next tip is don't procrastinate, y'all. Don't procrastinate. I'm not even gonna try to pretend like I don't procrastinate. I do heavily. So that's why I'm telling y'all, don't procrastinate. Get your work. Like, when you come home from school, eat something, take a little nap if you're tired, and then just get straight into the work, because that work's gonna pile up. And I know a lot of y'all saying, oh, I work great under pressure. I work great under... That's not gonna help. I'm not trying to knock your flow or whatever. If you say you work good under pressure, then do what you need to do. You know what I mean? As long as the work gets done. But it's gonna be a lot easier if you just come home straight from school, eat a little something, take a little nap, and get straight into it. You're on your phone for hours and you're calculating that stuff. You're like, damn, I really need to get this work done. But you're not moving. And then another hour goes by, like, damn, like, I really need to get this work done. Now you see the clock ticking. You're like, that forces you to put that phone down, because now you're in this state of like, you know what I mean? Like, you're in this state of, this isn't good. I only have this amount of time to complete this. Some people don't work great under pressure. Some people actually need a lot of time to get certain things done to help them, get it done. A lot of people, their brains literally do not work. They have a certain, like, a time limit to do this. Their brain is not going to work, because all they're thinking about is the amount of time that they have left to complete the assignment. You know what I mean? And a lot of times we procrastinate and we're rushing through the work. The work is not good, and we get a bad grade. So it comes back to bite us in the butt at the end of the day. So next tip is stay away from negative influences. Specifically talking about friends. Surround yourself with positive and supportive people, y'all. When I tell you, like, your friends really do influence you. I know you're like, there are some people, the people, they could have bad people around them and their decisions don't influence theirs. Some people are like that. But a lot of the times when we're hanging around people for a long time, we tend to pick up on their behavior and their attitudes, and that could either have a positive impact on us or a negative impact on us. So when you're friends with someone, everything starts off cool, y'all kiki and blah blah blah, and then you start to realize the way they're moving is just not something you align with. But you need to pull yourself back. I know confrontation is like such a big thing, like even I have problems with it, but at the end of the day, you have to protect yourself. And if you know that hanging around this person is going to be damaging to you and to your mental health, like even if it gets to that point, you need to pull yourself away. When the way they operate and the way they move starts to affect you and how you think and how you perform in school and how you perform in your extracurriculars, how you interact with other people, that's when it's serious, and that's when you need to stop associating yourself with this person. That also kind of goes into, it's okay to not be friends with everyone. Not everyone's going to be your friend. That doesn't make you fake. That doesn't make you a hater. everyone has different vibes. Everyone has, you know, we're all different people. We're not meant to be friends with everyone. You know, that doesn't mean, you know, be rude and be fake, you know, in the hallways. You just be like, hey, good morning. That's it. That's all you need to do. The friends you make the first day are probably not going to be your friends later in the year or when you graduate high school. That's just how it is. I feel like in high school, every year, it was like people kind of had a different clique. Some of them stayed friends from, you know, freshman year to senior year. That's great. But usually every year, it's not even that you won't stop being friends with that person. Like, y'all will be cool, but you're making friends with more people. You're meeting new people. You just don't hang out as much with that person. It's not even on some fake, you know, it's not even on some fake type stuff. You're just growing into different people. The people you hang out with are going to change, and that could change in the span of a month or the span of a year, or in the span of 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Next tip is set academic goals. If you know you want to be on honor roll every, marking period, right? Every marking period, every semester or whatever, you need to put that in your room or something. You need to have that in your phone or some type of deadline. Okay, by this date, I want to be on honor roll, and you know, that's that. Or I want to have A+ in every single class, or a B or higher, or a C or higher, whatever your academic goals are. Have that in your phone, have that in your wall or something. Limit your screen time. When I tell you technology goes hand in hand with procrastination, you know, set some type of limit. Apple has that screen time limit, you know, 30 minutes a day, or start slow. If that's a little too low for you, maybe an hour for each social media platform, you know, something. Next tip is, if you're going through something not school related, or even if it is school related, talk to a teacher or talk to a guidance counselor. I know we will be saying that, but it's like, you know, these people, they're here to help you. If your school does have a guidance counselor, you know, talk to them. But just know that if you disclose certain information that is alarming, they do contact your parents and let them know. So if you're telling them a piece of information that you would like to stay private, but it is alarming, take that into consideration, because they could contact your parents about it. Next tip is be responsible with social media. I feel like it's like middle school and high school where kids are just kind of dumb with social media. They just be posting anything and everything. But I hope you know that stays there forever. And if you post something that, you know, your friends or your peers in high school are like, oh, they could save that, screenshot it, screen record it. You know what I mean? When you do post, make sure that you won't regret it. Remember that high school kids, they love drama, especially freshmen. So just make sure you post something that's not going to come back and bite you in the butt. Next tip is respect school rules and policies. Don't try to disrupt class on purpose to get a reaction. The teacher's not going to like you. Your students are not going to like you. Remember, this is an environment for education. You got to act a certain way. Your attitude has to be in a certain way. Just be mature. And remember that when you're breaking these rules, there's suspension, and you could get expelled, detention, you know what I mean? And that goes on your record. So just be mindful of how you're moving, how you're acting in high school. Next tip is participate in class. When I tell you participation is such a big part of your grade. Like, I know the tests and quizzes, they're a lot more worth your grade. They're a lot more heavy. But participation is still a part of your grade. It's usually like 25% of your grade, you know, depending on the class, how much it is. But I think a lot of my classes, they were like 25% of my grade. And that's really how I guess I kind of managed high school. Like I wasn't really the best test taker. So if I didn't really get a good grade on a test or a quiz, my parts, like I always participated in class. Always participate in class, because teachers, that's all they want. You could be a good test taker and things like that, but if no one's talking in class, the class is dead. Nothing's gonna move. So teachers want you to say something, anything. They don't care if the answer to the question that they ask is wrong. As long as you're raising your hand and you're saying something, that's all they care about. So I was always participating, and I always turned in my homework on time, and I did my best in my homework. So that's really the two things that kept my grades like up. If I was lacking in taking tests and quizzes, I was always participating and I was always doing my homework. The last tip is, I don't want to stress y'all out too much with this, but plan for the future. But I'm not saying already know what type of college you want to be in by then. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying college isn't college. High school is an experience. And I know people are like, this is just high school, blah, blah. It doesn't really get that serious until college. That is kind of true, but that's why high school is kind of great, because this is kind of where, I know college is where you're experimenting, but high school is also an experiment. Try different things. I feel like the high school is just where you learn to branch out more. And I know you're taking a bunch of classes that you don't like, but it's really in the extracurriculars and the clubs and stuff that you join, just how you're being active and how you're being social. I feel like that's where you really learn what you like, and sometimes that can help you find the career path that you want to take in the future. And I'm not saying, like I said, you don't have to have a set career path. If you already know what you want to be in high school, your freshman year, good for you. Like I said, this is just a chance for you to just experiment and just do a bunch of dumb things. You know what I mean? Don't be stupid. Don't do anything stupid that's gonna come back and bite you. And just do anything and everything in high school. I feel like I wish I did that more. And doing a lot of extracurriculars and things like that, joining organizations and things like that, that can help you, when you're applying to college. This is true. But do things because you're interested in them and you like them. And if you don't end up liking it, leave it, drop it. So that's my advice to you. So that's it for today's video. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.